Hello, 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 everybody. I am Stephanie D. Sanders, and you are watching Movers and Shakers, a show where I have people come on and tell me how they're out there moving and shaking and doing a little something in the communities. It's a show about having people on who are those real go-getters, and this gentleman on here today is definitely one of them. Had to have him on here because he's going to break this thing down about coaching. We've all heard the term. We want to know more about this term, coaching. What is that? But before we get into that, let me welcome to this show, Mr. Harold Lewis is in the building.
Hey, good afternoon, Miss Stephanie. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for taking the time to join me today so you can break this thing down for us and help some people along the way too. Now, but before we get into that, before you got into this other realm of coaching, you were actually a pastor. That in itself, right there, had all the elements of for being a coach to me, because I am sure you had a lot of different people and personalities to deal with. Tell us a little bit about what it was like for you being a pastor.
Yeah, thank you for that question. And you're absolutely right. Pastoring and coaching are kind of like a parallel occupational vocation, if you will. I came to Christ in 1968, right? And I
Mhm.
got ordained in the ministry. My first sermon was 1979.
Say
I
the
was a young,
whole number.
yeah, young whippersnapper. And um, my initial dream was to go into the army. I wanted to always go. I mean, brothers were coming back from Vietnam, and I was inspired by some of their stories. Unfortunately, some was coming back unalive.
Mm,
But nevertheless, though, I did matriculate through college and got an ROTC, and I wanted to go into the military as a chaplain. But they
okay.
had they had reached their quota for African American chaplains back in the 80s. People didn't know they had a quota. Yeah. Uh, so nevertheless, though, I did eventually get into the Army as an officer, and I went into air defense artillery until God told me I was in the wrong Army.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
got out of the Army and went to seminary. I went to
Mhm.
seminary in Atlanta, Georgia, at the ITC as a part of that
Yeah.
Atlanta University Consortium, right?
Yes.
Uh, from there, I went back home to pastor my home church,
Hmm.
Greenwood, Mississippi.
Hmm.
Church, the kindergarten in. Listen to this. I went to kindergarten in this church, and
Wow.
succeeded, I succeeded the pastor who was there 30 years later.
Oh my goodness.
I said,
Wow.
yeah, so I went there, and in the middle of the Mississippi Delta, impoverished community, and we began to do a lot of work in that community. A long story short, I got moved from Mississippi to Maryland, to
Hmm.
DC area
Okay.
as a pastor. And then I started noticing a lot of our pastors were one-dimensional,
Mm-hmm.
meaning they were just pulpit occupants, you know. If
Hmm.
anything of the pulpit, they were lost, literally
Wow.
lost.
Wow.
Number two, I noticed that a lot of them didn't have a lot of techniques, I call them, when it came to self-care, when it came to really writing good, thorough, qualitative sermons,
Hmm.
taking care of their families, having that life work balance. A lot of that was missing. And so I started working with some of the pastors, and that gave birth to this coaching idea. Not knowing it, I could monetize it. I was doing it as a colleague to a colleague.
Wow. You're
And
just
so
giving it away.
I was giving it away. Absolutely. I was giving
Mhm.
it away till I discovered. They moved me to Florida in 2008. I got moved to Florida, still pastoring. Well, they moved me to a headquarters in Florida, out of the headquarters, working with churches, not
Mhm.
necessarily as a coach, but as a consultant. But so again, going to a lot of these churches, working with pastors that were oblivious. They were just going, listen, 24/7, 365, be on vacation. Someone dies, they come back off vacation to do the funeral, working 7 days a week, neglecting their family. And I can give you statistics of pastors who leave the ministry every single month. Divorces, drug abuse, alcohol, the whole gamut of it all. Pastors' wives wish their husband weren't pastors. A
Mm.
lot of that was going on. No one was taking care of the pastor. because they had the pastor in a category. His power or her power come from on high. So I started tapping into a lot of that and sitting down with pastors. I started coaching. I had 14 pastors I was coaching. 14.
Ooh, your
But
schedule was full too.
till I got a coach. She challenged me and told me I was a helpaholic.
Oh, a
That she
helpaholic.
was paying big money for what I was doing. 6 figures, big money. So
Wow.
we start rethinking this whole coach.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because I was wondering where it came from down the pipeline for
Yeah,
you to transition over into that. Now, you were working and helping them, and then now are you still doing that same thing, or have you decided to transition completely over into the coaching realm? And then to break that down, the coaching and the consulting, what is that all?
absolutely. Yeah, thank you for that question. Yes, no, I retired from pastoring
Mhm.
because they began to move me around, right? Once
Oh
they found
yeah.
the gift, I would grow in churches. Once you get that church up and stable, that's okay.
Hmm.
I never got a chance to really enjoy the fruits of the growth. Um,
Yes.
so I stepped out of that realm and was praying and asking God, what's next? And launched Next Generation Coaching Consultant. It started out as NG3C, Next Generation Clergy Coaching and Consultant,
Hmm.
LLC.
Hmm. Hmm.
Working with pastors again. And coaching is relatively still a new phenomenon. People, when they think of coach, they think of athletics, right?
Hmm.
Now with the Tony Robbins and all those people coming on this
Yes. Yes.
coach, got a birth, but people think a Tony Robbins is out of their sphere. They
Hmm.
can't afford Tony Robbins.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I'm reaching out to pastors for this coaching and offering coaching assistance and offering free consultations. And they start bagging up from it, again, still relying on the Holy Spirit, one, and then two, not wanting to meet the fee, meet the fee. And
Mm.
so this start asking God, what do I do? So I broadened my landscape in my coaching business, not just clergy, but going after lay people as well,
Hmm.
entrepreneurs and professionals.
Now, how do you see that your pastoring has like helped you to transition into this position now of just strictly coaching?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, as a pastor, you're kind of like a coach, spiritual coach anyway, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
When it comes to grief, when it comes to uh, family issues, we're just doing it more in a spiritual context. And I still carry it along with me into the coaching. But the difference now is that I take those skill sets from pastoring and apply them in the context of being a life coach.
Hmm.
And how to do that? Of course, everything is based on the word, and I share that with my clients that we use the word as a base and a premise. And then from there, Jeremiah 29:11. For God said, I know the plans I have for you, right? To prosper you. I got a future for you. What does that mean? And so helping them to shape what is their calling on this planet? What
Yes.
is Jeremiah 1:5? Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you,
Hmm.
right? So helping them flush out there uh, because everything we do should be to glorify God.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
and I are on this planet for a divine purpose. What is that purpose? So I
Yes.
skill set from my pastorate into my coaching, and I use my anointing as a coach to help me to work with clients. Now here's a caveat: I don't accept everybody as a client.
Ooh, then that's a good one because
Yeah,
that is true. That is true. Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Then one, I have to define the difference between coaching, counseling, and consulting.
Yes, I was gonna ask that. Go ahead.
Yeah, because oftentimes person will hear or see and know me as a pastor, and they'll want to bring their trauma to the table.
Hmm. Hmm.
And as or clinician, I had to share with them, this is not that. This is not counseling, right?
This is not
Yeah,
the couch. We're gonna sit up for this one.
absolutely. Because they'll want to come in and talk about their I listen maybe the first 2 or 3 minutes, and then that's when I put the boundary up and say, this is not that. I will refer you to a clinician that can
Hmm.
help you with that.
Hmm.
My that's kind of consulting is that long term helping them get their whatever their project or program is or business is down the road. Coaching is pretty much a short term. You as the client, you discover, I help you to unpack what God is calling you to do and to be, and to hold you accountable in doing that. You set the preference of what you want to do. So as a coach, I help you to excavate what God is calling you to do and what that purpose is.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a Wikipedia version of it.
Okay, okay. Now, what about this? Some people might be like, oh, we have GPT, Google, YouTube, and all of this. We can get information or whatever. What's the difference in having you as a personal uh, coach as opposed to them just going out there and listening? Because there's a lot of information to just listen to out
Yeah.
there. What would be that difference to actually have you as a physical coach?
Yeah, Chat GPT and AI don't talk back like I'm gonna talk back to you. Chat GPT and AI don't hold you accountable. Chat GPT, the feeling part is missing from that. The human element is missing from those that artificial intelligence, and it will agree with you. You plug
Yes.
with you,
True.
right? And so with Chat GPT and AI, it's when you plug into them that they respond. Me, on the other hand, is a live coach. I'm able to connect spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
and then help you look at some things from different angles or as a human being. And I think that's going to always be a shortcoming for this artificial intelligence. That human element will always be needed. Always be needed.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. Then number two, ChatGPT and AI, even though someone is filling and plugging in a lot of information, right? It doesn't come with a Harold Lewis from growing up in Mississippi. Doesn't come with a Harold Lewis been an ordained clergy over 40 years. Doesn't come with a Harold Lewis with a military background. Don't come with a Harold Lewis with his own personal experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
The client on a human level.
Yes.
It's the difference.
Okay, see, there we go. You gotta ask these questions, Chad. So if somebody's coming to you and they are thinking about getting started or they do get started, what might be just one little something that they would actually start with to kind of start breaking things down in working with you as opposed to going to a buddy and talking to them or whatever and getting
Sure,
whatever kind of answer?
sure. I usually give if you recommended someone and say, hey, Dr. Lewis has a coaching business, I'll give a 15, 20-minute free consultation so
Mm-hmm.
they can taste test, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would like to take this further. So they want to go further, and then I will share with them the whole process, right? I have an intake form they can fill out.
Mm-hmm.
There's an issue form they can fill out, talk about their goals, uh, primary goals, secondary goals, and why now? Why coaching now? Why coaching now?
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are late. When I say late, they've been in the workforce for a period of time and they seeing that things are derailing. So they'll come to the table. And I ask these exploratory questions that I have to see if we're going to be a good fit and what's their end game. What's
Mm-hmm.
their end game? 95% of the persons that I work with in the past did not have a purpose statement for their personal life,
Mm-hmm.
did not have any kind of idea. When I mean with this statement, I'm very careful when I say this statement, didn't have any kind of idea. Where do they go from here? They know they're on a job, they want to retire, but that's not the end all and of all. What do you want to do? Number
Right.
one.
Mm-hmm.
To coincide with the AI question you just asked, right? Most coaches teach what they know, not what they do.
Hmm. Now, what does that mean? Break that down. Break that down.
I can share a lot of knowledge about coaching, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put on the table some working applications because
Yes.
I've through it myself. That's a
Mm-hmm.
different. When you listen, and I don't mean to disparage anybody coaching business,
Mm-hmm.
anybody or what they do, but when you listen to most of them, they would talk about. Let me just give you a hypothetical situation, right? A lot of people talk about how they what they invest in, how they making money on TikTok, but no one actually sit down and say, here's the recipe. Here's
Uh-huh.
what you need to do, Miss Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
A, B, C, D, E.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you about all the books I've written. I can tell
Mm-hmm.
you about all the places I've traveled. That's what I know. What I do and how to make this thing work is, okay, we're going to schedule over the next 8 weeks. You're going to go on a date night with your significant other one night a week. That's what I do, right?
Okay, you got to get me somebody. You got to get me somebody to do
Out there,
that.
yeah. And as a coach, I'm gonna be pulling that out of you, so we will shape what your program will look like, and then we'll jump off into it, and then you get a report card at the end of the first month, if it's an 8 weeks or 3 month period, how you doing. You get work assignments, and I hold you accountable. So if we're gonna meet once a week or once every 2 weeks, you're gonna have an assignment. Now, if you don't do the assignment, you're gonna start getting a little nod from me. Yeah. Number two, you don't call and let me know that you're not gonna make it on our regular scheduled call. That's gonna be an issue as well. So there's an intake process. There's an initial kind of meet and greet process as well. So I'm scheduling a 3-day challenge, 3 night. Yeah, it's called a 3-day challenge. The person can come on my 3-day challenge, listen to me for an hour, presenting what we basically talking about today, and then afterwards I do a VIP session where they can ask further questions.
I think I'm gonna have to probably sign up for that one there myself. I'd love to do that. I think it'd be very interesting to kind of see, do that self check and kind of check in with yourself. Where are you right now? Where are you trying to go, and all of that. I definitely see that coming down the pipeline for me all the time.
Yeah. What are your goals? 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 10 years, right? What did that look like? I will use this example. The Chinese have a 200-year vision for their country. 200-year vision for their country. And the average person does not have a 6-month vision.
Yeah, that's something to think about, because I'm sorry I had to cut myself off, John, because
I didn't say that. I wanted that delay. So working with a coach, right? You come along, coaching focuses on the future. Number one. Number two, it fosters individual performance. And then number three, it helps you to discover your own path. It's not cloning Harold Lewis. It helps the client to discover what is God calling you to do, right? And how can I help you unpack that to get it done?
man, I tell you that goes in line with the book that I had written, One More Day. And I'm like, oh, my. This is kind of like that next level to that, with the speaking side of things for me personally. But I know that this would be something that, y'all paying attention, that we need to check into for ourselves. If we find we're at a spot, it's not necessarily being stuck. It's at a position or a place where you want to elevate. You know that there's more, because if you get around people, like when we're at the networking meetings and things like that, people know they need to be like 4, 5, 6, 7 levels from where they are, because you have that innate feeling inside of you that there's more growth to take place, but you're not quite sure how to get that out, or you're not quite sure what that is. So this is the guy that you would want to connect with, to help you to not shape who you're supposed to be, but to bring those elements out of yourself, that's already there. It's just he's helping you to kind of clarify that and bring it on out. So, Mr. Harold, what do you find to be the most rewarding thing about being a coach for people?
Yeah, seeing them coming to the realization who they are, their life isn't over, right? My program is Pivot, right? And Pivot is an acronym, but getting them unstuck and on purpose. You'll be surprised. Thank you for referencing our core in the mornings on Wednesday. So many persons have their ladders leaning against the wrong wall.
Oh boy. Wow.
Yeah, they either follow a parent dream or somebody else thought they should be and they're miserable, right? I can give you names of men and women who have gone to medical school and law school and was miserable. But when they became a mission, peace and the happiest they can be.
See,
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
it's about. That is what it's about.
That is skilled enough to help them to pull that out of them. I think I'm going to ask the question is what motivates you? What gives
Mm-hmm.
you it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What gets
Mm-hmm.
you to get your throat, your
Yeah,
boom?
what gets you going? You know, that
Yes.
natural coffee that just gets you going. You know, that you find yourself doing. Oh Lord Jesus, I find myself working it all the way up until 9, 10 o'clock sometimes, especially when I have that kind of time. You know, it's like, oh my goodness, I need to go to bed. I need to go to bed.
Listen to this statistic. The more people have heart attacks on Mondays than any other day in the week because they're going to jobs that they hate.
My God, my God,
The emergency room on Monday morning are filled with people who went into cardiac arrest because of stress.
my God, my God,
Because of
my God.
stress.
Hmm.
And when I sit down, I talk to people, and of course, it's monetized, and I work with people. Right? I got to scale some people like, they may say, well, how can I do just a month? But once they get in the month, they say, oh man,
I need an extension.
I and so what we do is, I have a offer. I show them. Here, if I did this individually, here's what you get if I did one-on-one. Here's what you get if you got some of the products. Here's what you get if you was in the group. And we separate all that out. It's coming to almost a $25,000-$30,000 package, right? But then, of course, I don't charge people that kind of money, but I
Hmm.
let them throughout the challenge, when I do the offer or when I'm interviewing a client that's considering coaching, they begin to see. Then you ask the question, right? So today, if you didn't join coaching today, what would be different for you 5 years from now? You still be in the same place.
Mm.
You still
Hmm.
be in the and
Hmm.
what's the point, right? If you're hurting now, if you don't know where you're going now, how you gonna know where you're going 5 years from now?
Oh, child, that's 5 more years added on. Mm-mm.
5 years I don't do. When I got into my doctorate degree program, I was contemplating that I don't know. And so they have a way of presenting this to you, right? So they said, so next year this time you're gonna still be on I don't know, when you could add a year out of the way of your doctorate program.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's true. That is true. Oh, child. Oh, goodness. Goodness. But
And
anyway, I know like your personality is just so vibrant
oh,
most of
thank
the
you,
time anyway. So
thank
when you
you.
when you get you're welcome. When you get your clients that come in like that, do you find that some of them don't have even half of that energy or vibrance or whatnot, but they've got to find it somewhere in there because you can't do the work for them. They
Correct.
have to want to do the work for themselves. Do you find that you have to kind of help build up that energy or morale or what?
Right. So I don't do it, but I ask them what motivates them, right? Because you
Mm-hmm.
got an extrovert, they get their energy from different spaces, correct? My wife
Mm-hmm.
is an introvert, right? You give her a book, give her some program, man, listen, she in heaven. Till she hang out with me.
She got to bring it up a level.
Yeah.
That
So
it gives a good balance. It gives a good balance.
you have to ask that proverbial question, how bad do you want this?
Hmm.
Right? So
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
say you have children, right? You have any kids. So hypothetically, let's say you had someone in your family and you were their caretaker. And they said,
Hmm.
Stephanie, if you don't get, I don't know, if you don't get this particular product, your loved one is not gonna make it.
Hmm.
You would do whatever you have to do. If you had to walk to Tampa and back,
Go find a way.
you're gonna
Yes,
find a way.
sir. Yes, sir.
You're
Yes,
gonna find
sir.
so the
Hmm.
real thing is when they come back and say, hey doc, man, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, right? So when you look at pivoting is simply, one personal inspiration. So that's what I wanted to move from where I wanted to land on. When you talk about personal inspiration,
Hmm.
the word inspiration comes from two words, in spirit.
Hmm. Okay.
That's where it comes.
Hmm. Hmm.
So spirit within them that I want to help cultivate. It's already in them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how
Yeah.
do I spirit out of it? It's so much junk suppressing it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
negativity, so many
Peel back the layers. Peel back the layers. Come on out, child. Come on out.
and it
Wow.
hurts. You'll never be anything. This ain't for you. You don't have the money. Nobody's gonna buy your product. You go through those slumps sometimes.
Mhm.
Listen, I had a client that I was about to sign. I sent all the paperwork to them. They told me once they got back, they were gonna sign up for my coaching. I
Mhm.
was all to start, and they said, "Well, we'll wait 4 more weeks." And I had reduced my fee significantly.
Mhm.
So now they won't get that deal.
Mhm. Wow. Wow.
Get that deal
Wow.
because why? What they call buyer's remorse. You know what buyer's remorse is? You go and buy something, you get it
Oh
wrong.
yes. Mhm. Mhm. Then you come back, it's either gone or it's either higher. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So here's the deal. Coaching doesn't work if you don't work the coaching.
And you have to want it now.
Yeah,
You have to
absolutely.
want it. There's something in it or that you wanted to get out of you,
Yeah,
because we need that extra help, that extra guidance from someone else to come from within, not within ourselves, but come from outside.
yeah,
Somebody else that can kind of help to pull those things out or guide us in a bit of a different direction when we kind of almost exhausted everything that we may know of, or that other person to bounce things off of too, you know. So that's why I think it's just so important to have it. Because I had a coach a couple several years ago, and that one coach, nobody even knew I was with this gentleman. That one coaching session helped to set me up to blossom into all these other things that I'm doing now.
yeah.
Things that they even informed me of then, I still use today. So when I think of working with you, I can see having another level just pop up. Because see, I'm already self-motivated.
Yeah.
I'm already
Yeah.
self-motivated. So just to have that same type of a mindset from somebody else, and it's like, okay, well, think about this. Okay, let's do this. You got this assignment. It's kind of tough sometimes when it's busy, but if
Yeah.
you want it to work, you gotta work it.
And number one, get you some early wins. Get you some early wins. I gave you a little sample this morning, right?
Hmm.
About a little postcard,
Oh yeah,
or
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
and
my
then
postcard.
get some early wins. And with those early wins, what happens is your inspiration, motivation start revving up. Oh man, that's it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah,
Number two, have somebody cheerleading.
yes.
Have cheerleading, right? We can do this. And
Hmm.
then here's the other important thing about coaching. You can bring, for an example, Stephanie, how's it going? But
Hmm.
Doc, it was a rough day today. I didn't get done. Talk to me. Talk
Hmm.
to me. What's
Hmm.
going to happen? One of the pieces that I give just as a benefit is called feelings as messengers.
Hmm.
And most of us, and I say this, listen, I don't just say this tongue in cheek because my doctorate degree is in organizational psychology.
Hmm.
Most of us have never been taught how to name our feelings.
Hmm.
We
Hmm.
have not. So
Hmm.
coming to our session, I say, Stephanie, how you feeling? And you would say,
Good, great. Okay.
not a feeling.
Right, 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 right. Right, and I see that because I've been working with ESE children, and we have this little one sheet at times. If there's some kind of way or in their emotions, we can pop that out, or if it's on their desk. Okay, well, how you feeling today? Show me what picture, what picture and name coincide with how you feeling today. You feeling this, that, happy, sad, you know, like that. So I understand.
And
Hmm.
so name those feelings. And yet, the six primary feelings are peaceful, powerful, joyful, mad, sad, and scared. Those are the
Hmm.
six feelings. So let's
Mm.
say you're sad. Sad means you experience some kind of loss.
Hmm. Hmm.
You move from being sad to either peaceful, powerful, joyful. That's why I want you to hang out, right?
Mm.
So if you lost a job, you lost a loved one, you lost whatever in a relationship, right? You're sad, you're grieving,
Hmm.
and grief is a process,
Hmm.
right? What brings you joy? Maybe walking in the park, maybe
Yes, yes.
right?
Hmm.
So we need to say, okay, I want you to grieve. I don't want grief to consume you though.
Yes.
I
Hmm.
want to move out of that grief over to either peaceful, powerful, joyful. And so
Mhm.
you can say anything else I'm saying if you're grieving. So we got
Mhm.
to allow space.
Mhm.
Most coaches don't do that. That's one benefit. The other benefit is what I call strokes. And with a
Mm.
stroke, not medical stroke, because that's the first thing people think about.
Right.
The stroke I'm talking about is what we call social and or relational affirmation. For an example, when you greet someone in the morning, right, you say good morning. That's a stroke. That's a nonverbal stroke. You have acknowledged their existence.
Mhm. Mhm.
Positive strokes and you have negative strokes. You have doing strokes and you have being strokes, right? And so most spaces, homes, jobs, marketplaces, persons do not, the stroke economy is bankrupt. You walk into a business, they got scowls on their face. People don't have speak. They don't have grief. They don't shake hands. They don't hug. We don't send thank you notes anymore.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Mhm.
applying how to use the stroke economy. Now watch this. There are five types of stroke. You can give a stroke, good morning, thank you, I love you. You can
Yes.
receive a stroke when someone give it to you.
Mhm.
You can reject the stroke. Because a negative stroke, for an example, you got the little ugly headphones on, Stephanie. You can say, talk again. I don't receive that. You can reject.
Receive them, right?
Watch this. You can stroke yourself.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then you
Mhm.
can stroke. Hey, Dr. Lewis,
Mhm.
no anything nice to me today. Can you say something nice to me? You can ask
Mhm.
those. And your stroke economy is up to you, no one else.
Right? Because otherwise, I put you off to the side now because I don't receive that into my space.
Absolutely. Some of the categories we bring to the table,
Mhm.
then start helping them to shape. You got your personal, I call it personal inspiration, because we want you to feel good about this. Then what we have, this is pivot, by the way. The acronym for my thing, pivot. You got your visionary outlook. What does it look like for you 8 weeks
Mhm.
from now?
Mhm.
Remember, I showed you in my journal. I want you to write a letter to yourself.
Mhm.
Weeks from now, what would it look like?
Mhm.
3 months from now, what would it look like? That's
Mhm.
a visionary outlook, and not abstract. I want 3D. I want HD, XD. I want colors. I want shapes. All of that, and then from there, the T is for transformational life. Now that we got that, we got to apply that.
Wow, wow, wow.
We
Well,
have to apply.
I hate to cut us off, but
Yeah,
we got like 2 minutes, and I wanted to make sure that you got your information out there so people can contact you. They can reach out and get your coaching going on, and then we will close this down. And y'all go ahead and call them. So you go ahead and let them know how they can reach you and get your service.
They can reach me at drlewis61@gmail.com. That's Dr. D.D. Lewis 61 at gmail.com. Yep.
And there you have
Yep.
it.
Thank you,
You
Miss
guys
Stephanie.
go ahead and get hooked up, get your coaching going before the new year comes in. You have be on a whole different page when that happens.
That's
So we
right.
want to thank you so very much, Mr. Lewis, for being on the program and enlightening us about the whole coaching and all of that. So we not understand it a lot better now. And if not, you have his information. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. We appreciate you so very, very much. You can reach out to me on Facebook if you like. Well, on all social media, I do answer there. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, hit me up, send me a message, and we will see what happens. Okay. Thank you so very much. This is Movers and Shakers, and I'm Stephanie D. Sanders from Mr. Carol Lewis. See y'all later. Bye.
All right. Thank you again.
You're welcome.